Hey guys, Anthony here. I'm going to do a video today focusing on a question. The question is, why do you prep? If you do prep, why do you prep? Now, there are many reasons why a person will prep. You know, some just off the top of my head would be I live in South Florida. There is a very good chance of hurricanes and major storms, and including flooding down here and high winds, especially during the months of June through November, which is hurricane season. And so that is one of the primary reasons why I prep. And that is food, water, flashlights, other sources of shelter, protection, you know, you name it. Most prepping goes hand in hand with preparing for, say, a natural disaster. So that's one category. Another category you've seen probably many times on, you know, National Geographic Doomsday Preppers, where each person or each group or that's being filmed or being profiled has their own particular reasons why they prep. You know, some it's an economic collapse. You know, the dollar is going to collapse, and that's going to cause, you know, widespread civil unrest and outages and shortages of food and water and no groceries in stores. You know, so an economic collapse is a reason why people prep. Another is, you know, fear of, you know, a natural disaster like a solar storm from the sun that cuts out all power grids, fries the power grids, and not only will it cut it out, but something like a solar type flare or a you know, from the sun can cause the systems that we employ to give us power to be down and fried, and backup systems are nowhere to be found, which renders us basically helpless for maybe weeks and months and maybe even years. So something like a solar flare can knock us out, and that's why people prep. Another reason goes hand in hand with that would be a man-made type EMP type disaster where you know, a terrorist or maybe something homegrown, even done by our own government, can knock the power grid out, set the power grid out, and cause a chain of events to happen that would not be good. So people prep for something like that. And these are all very real scenarios that can happen at, you know, the drop of a hat. You know, you could go to bed one night and wake up the next morning to one of these scenarios. Another could be, you know, like what's going on in the Middle East and in Syria right now, where, you know, we're at the verge of World War III. We see our own government, our own president, aiding and abetting Al-Qaeda terrorists, which is not a good sign for things to come. You know, when your government that is supposed to protect the people's interests is sending aid and weapons and money to terrorist organizations around the world, it would cause one maybe antenna to go up and maybe say to oneself that, you know what, if my own government is doing something like that, shouldn't I take some steps to protect myself and my family from an unforeseen byproduct of this, which could very well mean a world-type conflict that could render and trigger, effects that could reverberate around the world, like a stock market crash, like civil unrest, and like food shortages. The list can go on and on. So that is another reason why people prep, and probably one of the main reasons I prep is a corrupt and tyrannical government doing as it pleases and going against the will of the people here in the United States. Things like taking away our Second Amendment right to bear arms. Why would you say a government that is aiding and abetting and giving arms to known terrorist organizations want to take my guns away? And if you put 2 and 2 together, you get 4, and you very quickly see that the scenario is not good. No matter how you slice and dice it, no matter how you try to sugarcoat it and say they just have our best interests in mind. They want to stop gun violence. They want to stop crime in the country. You would quickly realize that your ability to justify what they're doing is reaching for straws. It goes down the tubes very quickly. And so that is another reason why people would prep a corrupt and tyrannical government. Just look at what happened now with this false flag of a shutdown that they're doing, both the Democrats and the Republicans, stopping veterans from going to memorials to visit memorials around the country, particularly in Washington, D.C., to take away the people's right to public lands and say that you cannot view this area because of the government shutdown, or you cannot go camping or hiking in this particular area because of a government type shutdown. This is all a smokescreen to a much larger problem that I think we have in this country, and that is a government that's out of control, a government that wants complete power, and frankly, a government that will go to any lengths to seize that power and make sure that it has that power in perpetuity. And I see American people concentrating on trivial things and being distracted with the left jab, while all the while they're getting ready to hit you with the right hand. And so that is why I mirror my prepping after what the government is doing. I can explain it. I take and see that the government is buying hundreds of millions of MREs or freeze-dried meals or hoarding food. It's a known fact. You could go on and research it and see. I see the government stockpiling billions of rounds of hollow point ammunition and other types of ammunition. Okay, what is that for? We can go another video to talk about that. I see the government arming agencies within the government that were never armed before and equipping them for some type of battle. And I see foreign troops being deployed here in the United States, or being at the ready to be deployed here in the United States. Many of them Russian speaking. I see our government purchasing AK-47 firearms, 7.62 by 39, and the other caliber 7.62, I think for the AK-74 ammunition. We don't use that ammunition within our military complex. So what are those weapons and ammunition being procured and stored and stockpiled here in the United States, what are they being used for, or what are they going to be used for? I could tell you flat out my thoughts and theories. First of all, my thought and my mental process is everything is a conspiracy. Everything. You know, people that go out there and afraid to be labeled a conspiracy theorist or a conspiracy nut, my thinking is everything is a conspiracy, because everything our government has done over the past several decades, and most recently from 9/11 forward, is part of a conspiracy of control. I believe that. You don't have to believe that. I'm not forcing that belief on you. I'm telling you what I think. So, in my mind, everything is a conspiracy. When I see my government arming itself to the teeth here in our country, dispatching that training and arms to the police forces around the country, in essence federalizing them and making them more of an army type or tactical type units, my feathers get ruffled and the hair stands up on the back of my neck. So what I do is, rather than gripe about it, which I could do and very easily do and post videos on, I mirror what the government is doing on a smaller scale. I procure food, I procure water, I procure ammunition, I procure arms, I procure medical gear, I procure everything that they do on a much, much smaller scale in my own little sphere and in my own little world. And I prepare for the unexpected, because obviously my government is preparing for the unexpected. So all I'm doing is mirroring what they're doing. That is part of the thinking behind me prepping. Yes, I prep for natural disasters, storms, unforeseen circumstances, minor outages. That's all. I've always done that. But to take my preps to the next level, I just looked around my country and see what my government is doing, and lo and behold, I see them getting ready for something maybe here in this country, and therefore I get a little concerned and I want to prep for it as well, because I want to be ready for any unforeseen circumstance that my government might not be telling me about. And so that's the purpose of this video. Prepping, why you prep, what are the reasons why you prep. It could be multi-tiered reasons like I just explained in this video. It could be a single-tiered reason. You have a family, you have young kids, you live in a region of the country that's susceptible to earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, frequent power outages, ice storms, and that's why you prep. That's, the reason why you prep, and that's fine. Economic collapse, and then government, mirroring the government and what they're doing around the country, and seeing the corruption that is running rampant in both the Democrat and the Republican parties. And so that's my video today, guys. I know I was a little long-winded driving around here, taking you for a ride here in South Florida, enjoying the great weather here, and enjoying my weekend. Plan to do some more videos, and I thank you very much for all the questions, comments. Welcome any video responses to this video, and of course your insight many of my viewers have is far beyond what I have. Many of my viewers are much more prepared than I am, and therefore can offer a lot in these categories. So thank you for all the new subscriptions. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time out to watch my video. I appreciate it. And remember, stay ready. Anthony signing off.